Live.
Hi.
Right, tell everyone your name.
My name is Marquita Marie Emmanuel-Williams. I'm here today to tell a story.
Well, you chose the title of this. You called it The Minority Report.
I did.
Why?
Because CHD, depicts, any number of other people, organizations that are associated with you guys do a fantastic job of representing everyone that's injured. But for every 20 faces, every 20 stories I hear, there's only one minority face. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that there's way more injury and hurt out there. So I made it a point to come here and tell you at least about Jonathan's story and maybe a few other stories mixed in.
Okay, let's go.
Jonathan was my cousin, Jonathan Michael Emmanuel. Jonathan made it to the age of 22 before he suffered from complications of the MMR shot and autism. He made it as long as he did because my uncle is a Boeing engineer and his mom graduated with a math degree and she's an incredible resource. It's something else when you have the resources and the knowledge of how to utilize those resources. He was given every opportunity to be the best version of himself, and that's why he made it as long as he did. The very first time I heard a whisper, and that's all it was a whisper of MMR vaccine injury, was at my grandmother's house. And she said at about that 15-month-old stage, hey, Jonathan had a shot and there's something wrong with him and they're taking him to the doctors. Again, this represents excellence, opportunity, education, and their child was injured. I couldn't believe it. I would have expected it of people who weren't nearly as well resourced, lived in a poverty-stricken area. But that wasn't the case at all. My grandmother wouldn't talk about whatever was going on with Jonathan after that. When I would see Jonathan at my daughter's birthday parties, which were 2 years, there was 2 years between her and Jonathan. It was always remarkable for what he could do. He had some repetitive behaviors where you knew there was something somewhere that was wrong. He had some behavioral issues. But what I've come to realize, mostly because I have a niece now that I'm convinced has had vaccine injury, is that they're super frustrated that they cannot express those things that are in their head. I do a great job with my niece. She'll go get my sister and she'll say, say this, and it'll sound like gobbledygook. I understand 90% of what she says, but that other 10%, it is just gobbledygook. And 99% of the time, my sister will get on the phone and say, oh, well, it's XYZ, My niece could do anything. I feel like if there was a way for me to unlock whatever little gate is preventing her, she's amazing. Just absolutely amazing.
But she got injured by shots as well.
It's my belief. All they've ever said was she just has a developmental delay. She's received every single shot. I've talked to my sister. My sister continues to vaccinate. I love her dearly. Everyone has to make up their own minds. My daughter, Kayami, she has an older son. He's 15. There was another baby before the latest baby that was born. Well, I should say that there was a pregnancy. And she was in that early trove of COVID vaccine, let's run out and get it. She's a school teacher. The pregnancy terminated itself.
Wait, so she went and got a COVID shot in the first trimester, you think?
Yep.
And that was it. Sorry
And
to hear that.
then, but the new baby's gorgeous. We love him. Cruz.
And has she stopped having COVID shots?
No.
Oh, gosh.
But fingers crossed. He's 3 months, or will be 3 months here shortly. And then a friend of mine, and that's my last story, is Charles Whitaker. He had a son, and we all went on a little play date. We were at some place. We were playing student pool, and this kid had a lot of repetitive behaviors. Again, incredibly smart. Like, you could talk to this kid and you knew he understood everything, but it was all very behavioral, and he only really bonded with his dad. So his dad needed to be there, more than anything else. His dad was an electrician. He had to go to work, but at his worst moments, they would have to call him. He would have to come get him, so there's a lot of injury out there. They're just not here. They don't know what's happening to their families. So hopefully one more face and we can get the word out.
Well, thank you for that. But I haven't finished with you yet.
Okay.
Because what do you do for a living?
I am a registered respiratory therapist at my baseline. I have an undergrad degree in respiratory therapy, an undergrad degree in psychology, and I have an MBA with an emphasis in healthcare administration.
Okay, so that's why I haven't finished with you yet. I need to know what happened during COVID. You're a respiratory nurse. You're kidding me. Please tell us the truth about it.
So, I had not done emergency care, so-called, because that's another story, but emergency care in the hospital for years. It's my first preference to educate the community and work in home care. That's where I excel. Skilled nursing, teach the nurses, But they put a call out for respiratory therapists to come there, to New York City. Great, fine. Sign me up. You don't even have to pay me. Just put me in the most damaged areas, Harlem, wherever. I want to be there so I can help us. They took the dentist before they would take the respiratory therapist, because they told us we didn't have recent, i.e. within the last 2 years, ICU experience. You tell me what the dentist knows about running a vent. Any day.
What the dentist knows about running a vent?
A ventilator.
Okay. So did you get to do anything?
No.
They didn't want you?
They didn't want us. And it was at that point, the day that they announced they were going to close the country down, I said, this is crazy. We don't do this. But there was still something in the back of my head. Maybe, Keita, maybe you're just being too critical. But after they told us the dentist could come, they welcomed the dentist, but not the respiratory therapist. I was like, this is a joke. It's always been a joke. Everything about it's been a joke. Everything from those masks and everything else. It was a joke. There are people who have medical degrees that are stacked upon medical degrees, and I know they know what I knew about a real mask, about the rooms where it's closed and there's negative pressure, and so it was a joke. All of it was a joke.
I have a question for you. I wonder if you could clear this up. So we were having numerous reports coming and sitting on the bus of people who went in with potential, pneumonia or something, or maybe just struggling breathing. Anyway, remdesivir, and they end up being put on a vent and they're given fentanyl and they die. Is that how you treat potential pneumonia?
No, so that was a whole other thing.
Thank you.
They dropped all the protocols, right? All of them. There's nothing anywhere ever where we decided, oh, okay, well, yeah, we'll just wait until they're circling the drain to treat them. Where we sent them home, where they preemptively said, you know what? I think I'm circling the drain. Let me go to the ER. They get to the ER, and the ER goes, do worse, then come back. It was ridiculous. It was just absolutely ridiculous. But if you followed the money, you understood it. I had a friend who had a father that was in assisted living, nursing homes, the whole 9 yards. The rashes, the ulcers, the to the bone ulcers that this guy had by the end of it, because there wasn't enough staff, because they dropped protocols, and all of it's just being whitewashed because it was COVID. And we couldn't help ourselves. We were doing the best we could. They weren't doing the best they could. They knew what they were doing. This was about money. It was always about money.
So, as a respiratory therapist, a lot of these people are claiming they didn't want to be ventilated. They didn't want to be put on the vent.
For whatever it's worth, never got the shot. That was another problem.
Okay.
That's another reason why I don't work at the hospitals, because I refuse to get the shot.
Okay.
Period.
Well, look, thank you for talking to us. Sorry about all your losses and stuff. And thank you for coming and speaking to us.
Absolutely. Thanks, Julie.
Okay.
See the bus. Sign the bus. And tell my story.